Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I'm your host, Murph. What is going on, people? It's another beautiful day here in Hawaii. We have a special guest in the studio today. We have Jordan Murphy, a.k.a. Ash Matthews. How's it going, Ash? Do you want Ash or do you want Jordan?
You call me by my name. That's weird if you don't.
I know, right? For those of you, you guys have heard me talk about him before on the podcast. Jordan is my son. He's here with his girlfriend, Hannah, and they're enjoying the Hawaii weather. How you guys liking it so far?
I love it every time I'm here.
Yeah, this is your second visit in the last 6 months, man.
I know.
I mean, it's hard not to come back when you find tickets as cheap as you guys have found them.
I know. I have to take advantage of the opportunity.
Exactly. You gotta make it out here and get away from that Ohio weather for a while. And I think right before you guys came, didn't you tell me it like snowed like the day before or a couple of days before you came, and then it was going to be like 80 degrees the next day?
Yeah, it's the middle of April, and we get like snow covered, like snow buildup, and then 3 days after that, it's 80 degrees.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we'll get into. Obviously, we talk mainly about golf on this, but I know I wanted to talk to you about your music stuff that's going on, and obviously you provide the music for the podcast, and I have an ad on there for you when you about your artists and your merch and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I want to run through some of the stuff that we normally talk about on the podcast. So we'll start off with the FIA, which is the tournament at Moanalua on Sundays that we have. And we play for a belt, and nothing has changed. Joe P still holds the belt, I believe. I don't want to say that for sure because I know that both of us played in the Mid-Pac Open this past week. I missed the cut, and we'll get into that in a second, but Joe made the cut, and he played Sunday. So I don't believe he played, and I didn't play because you guys came into town that week, Thursday, when I started the tournament. So as far as I know, Joe P still holds the belt. Beach Boys, last week they played Pearl Country Club. I was out because I played a practice round at Mid-Pac for the tournament on Monday. And then this week they played Royal Kania. And obviously I didn't play again because you guys are here visiting in town. So next week is Ewa Beach, and we'll be back, or I'll be back in action at Ewa Beach. Hawaii State Golf Association tournaments. We had the Mid-Pac Open. Opening round was not so good for me. I was doing good up until the seventh hole. Well, not the seventh hole. Actually, it was my seventh hole, but it was hole number 16, the par 5 at Mid-Pac. And I hit my drive left in the trees. Now, I said this on the podcast last week or 2 weeks ago, that there's times that you just have to take your medicine, hit it back out in the fairway, and play on. And there was a gap in the trees. I mean, a big gap. I would have had no problem hitting it, but it was going up the other fairway, which would have been fine because once I hit it up that other fairway, I had a clear shot to the green. I could have just hit it up over the trees to the green. But I took my own advice and tried to take my own medicine and punch it out. And I hit a driver. I had to keep it low because there was some low-hanging trees. So I took a driver and tried to punch it back out to my fairway, and I only hit it about 40 yards. And so I had to punch again under there was another tree in between the rough or the fairway and the cart path. And so I had to keep it low again. I punched it up into the fairway. So, I'm laying 1, 2, 3. Now that's my third shot. So if I hit it on the green and I make the putt, I get away with a par. However, I hit a chunk shot with my chip and left it short of the green, chipped up, and it rolled past the pin, and then I proceeded to 2-putt for a double bogey. So that didn't help my attitude. And I know I've talked about this on the podcast before that, it's okay to get mad about a hole, but you got to let it go. And if that hole's over, there's nothing you can do to change it. And I did not take my own advice.
You did not let that go.
No, I didn't. Because I figured, that was stupid of me. I should have just hit my original shot that I was going to hit it up the other fairway, get up on the green, and 2-putt for par. And I didn't do that. I tried to take my medicine, and it just made it worse.
Yeah, it's one thing if you just have a bad shot and just getting over that, but it's different when you have like an option of this or that and you settle to take the one. Then getting over the bad choice is different than getting over like a bad shot.
Right. Yeah. And that's what really made me mad was my bad choice and being one under at that time. And then after that hole being one over because of my double bogey, which still wasn't bad. I could have lived with that, but it continued to, I let it continue to bother me for not taking the right choice. And I just played bad and ended up shooting 85. So I knew going into Friday, I had to make the cut. And to make the cut, I figured I had to shoot 75 or better, which could have been done. I mean, those greens are really, really fast. And I know like last year, 2 years ago, because last year I had to withdraw after the third hole. But 2 years ago when I played in it, my goal was not to 3-putt, just 2-putt. Even if it was for bogey, just 2-putt. No 3-putts, no double bogeys. That was my goal. And that year, I bet I had 4 or 5 3-putts because the greens are really, really fast. And you don't want to be above the hole on that green or even on the side, having a breaker left or right. They are tough greens to putt. And so I found myself above the hole a lot that day that I had 3 or 4, but I was pretty happy. I mean, on the first day, I had a couple double bogeys, but I only had 1 3-putt the entire day. So I was happy with that. And so I knew going into the second day that I had to shoot 75 or better to make the cut. And I did play better. I didn't shoot 75. I had 2 3-putts that day, but I had a few double bogeys and I ended up shooting 78. So 78, 85, 162, I think was the cut last year, they said. And so there was a slight chance. I was at 163. There was a slight chance that I might be able to get in. And there was probably 6 or 7 guys still playing after I came in that I still had a chance. Maybe if they played worse, that I might be able to get in. And I missed the cut by 1. By 1 stroke. Obviously, I was not happy with that because, as you can attest, when I came back, that's all I kept saying. I would drop an F-bomb and say, one stroke.
Just one.
Just 1 stroke.
And I would continue to tease you about it.
Yeah. You didn't. One. Just 1. But I can take some positives, like I said, away from the tournament. I only had, 1 3-putt on the first day and only 2 on the second. I was not happy with the amount of double bogeys I had. Obviously, I don't want to have any double bogeys, but I struck the ball pretty well. I just, caught a few bad breaks. Got behind in some trees a couple of times, I only hit into 3 bunkers, and I only had a problem getting out of 1 the entire day. The other 2 I had no problem getting out of, but the one on 17, I tried to hit it out of the bunker, and I bladed the ball. I hit the ball first, and it hit and skipped over the green. So then I had to chip back up on. Yeah, it was not pretty. So that was one of the holes I took a double bogey on. But anyhow, overall, I was happy. I was able to take a few positive things away from the tournament, even though I did not make the cut. And it was weird because the seniors, what they did was the seniors, it was only a 2-day total. Now, if you made the cut in the championship flight, because we were all in the championship flight also, if you made the cut, then you got to play Saturday and Sunday. But I was happy. We all played from the same tees. There's pros that play in this tournament, so I was happy that I finished better than, 15 or 18 pros and some other guys, but I just didn't play well enough to make the cut.
So when you make that, if you were to make that cut, then you play both Saturday and Sunday, or do you play Saturday and then there's another cut to play Sunday?
No, you play Saturday and Sunday. You play both days.
And then is the score based on all 4 or just the last 2 when it comes to like determining the winner of the whole thing?
It's all 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the 2 days for the senior tour, it was just 2 days, whatever that total was.
Yeah.
That, the senior one. And I think in that one I finished 10th.
Okay.
I was because I think one guy didn't return a score, so that moved me up. I was in 11th, and then a guy didn't turn a score, and so I think I moved up to 10th place. So I'll get some points for that towards senior player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would have liked to have made the cut and played Saturday and Sunday. So it was a lot better than last year. Last year I had to withdraw after the third hole of the first round.
Was that when you were dealing with the hand thing?
Yeah, when I broke my hand. But so it was better. At least I played a practice round this year, and I got 2 rounds in. So the amount of money I paid, I think it was like $340. Last year I got a hat and a towel out of it. That was it. and 2.5 holes of golf.
Yeah.
At least this year I got a hat and a towel and 3 rounds of golf.
There you go.
So somewhat paid for it. So
do you do the practice round the day before or the day of?
No, we do it the week of. So they only have it on one day. It's Monday.
Oh, it has to be Monday?
It has to be Monday. Everybody plays on Monday. So that was good that we got that practice round in and played. And I'm playing there again this weekend for the member guest tournament. So Mid-Pac's a good course. I like playing it. It's a good time. So let's take a short break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's get into some PGA Tour news. This past week, you had the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele were your winners that shot 29 under, and they won a 2-stroke victory over Sam Burns and Billy Horschel. They actually won wire to wire, meaning they led the entire tournament. So congrats to Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele. Next up, got a new tournament, the Mexico Open at Vidanta. It's in Mexico. So this is the first year for that tournament. And the power rankings are out. John Rahm is listed as number 1 to win that tournament. Number 2 is Gary Woodland. And number 3 is Kevin Na. So we'll see how those turned out. The power rankings have been pretty close. I think that the power rankings for the Zurich Classic, I believe that Cantlay and Schauffele were in the top 3. I think. I know Sam Burns and Billy Horschel were in the top 3 for power rankings in that tournament. And they came in second place, but I thought that Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele was in the power rankings for that one. So anyhow, good luck to those guys. Hopefully John Rahm's due for a win. Corn Ferry Tour, our Brent Grant watch. This week, they didn't play last week because of Easter, but this week they got the Huntsville Championship. Brent Grant is in the field this week, so hopefully he'll play well and get a win. We need a win. We need a win there. Brent, you good over there, Jordan?
Good.
You falling asleep? Sorry.
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. So anyhow, good luck to Brent this week, and hopefully he'll play well and get us a win. We need a win. I think I've talked to you about Brent before. You know Brent. He used to live here. Used to play with him.
Yeah.
Is playing on the Corn Ferry Tour now, so we kind of keep an eye on him and watch what he's doing, and hopefully he'll get us a win. We need a win.
John was telling me about how it's kind of like surprising that Hawaii doesn't produce as many like elite level players as it should, because the opportunity to golf year round and how many courses there are and how like the weather is always permitting, and you would think that there would be, with more opportunity to golf, that the islands would produce a lot more, top level, just
tour level players. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that, because not only for that reason, but there's a lot of good golfers here, a lot of good junior golfers. I mean, there's a guy, what's his name? John was just telling me today that he went out and watched Joe P in the final round Sunday of the Mid-Pac Open, and he was playing with a young kid. The kid shot 72, even par, and he was talking to his dad, because his dad was there, and they live in California, but they have family here. So they come over every year, and he plays in the Mid-Pac Open. But this kid's in 10th grade.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. He's in 10th grade.
Oh,
I mean, I played with a kid, and I talked about him on the podcast, Dane Watanabe. He played in mid-pack too. I'm not sure what he ended up shooting, but when he played in the 4-ball, me and Joe played him. They were in our group. We didn't specifically play just those two, but him and Joshua, I can't remember his last name, Hayashi or something like that. They he shot under par himself. Dane did, and he's a sophomore or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's in high school. It's crazy. These young kids. That's why I don't play. That's why I don't play championship flight anymore, because I cannot compete with these young kids, man.
Just getting whooped by sophomores.
Yeah, and they're bombing the ball.
They just got their
freaking
license.
60, 70 yards farther than me. Yeah.
You get beat by kids that can't even drive yet. They can't drive, but they can drive better than you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, I know. Let's talk about you and your golf. I know that when you were younger, I'd take you out and play, and you'd hit the ball a few times, and then you'd seem to get tired of it, and not really. Not only you, but Ryan was also the same way.
Yeah.
But you don't. I mean, do you play golf anymore? Have you played golf? When's the last time you played golf?
Oh, it's been a long time.
Well, I know you have a set of clubs, because I know.
I do.
Not the last time, but a few times ago when I came home. And stayed at your place a couple of nights when I first got there. You had a set of golf clubs.
I have a set of clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you haven't played.
No.
But, I mean, do you like playing? Do you wish you could play more? I know you can't play a lot because you're pretty busy with not only your day job, but your music at night. So you don't really have a time when you can actually go play.
No, but I mean, this is the way I look at golf is that if you are good at it, if you are even decent at it, it's really enjoyable and it's fun and it's challenging, and I get that. But if you are not good, like, at all, like, every time you hit the ball, you're just like, Jesus, take the wheel. Like, this ball is going wherever you're sending it, because I'm not in control of where this ball goes. When that's your level of playing, it's not that fun. You're just chasing a ball around, and it's not going anywhere you want it to go, not going as far as you want it to go, and it's just frustrating unless, like, you're just going to drive a cart around and drink, which is not what I want to do anyway. So if I had the time and the I guess desire to, like, want to get good so that I would enjoy it, I could see that happening. But like you said, I don't really have a lot of time, and I don't really have the desire to get good to enjoy it. But, like, doing stuff like Topgolf and putt-putt are fun.
Yeah.
I like to, like, golf in a more fun way.
Yeah.
Like, let me just drive out into nothing and try to score points while I eat an appetizer, or let me try to put a ball into a clown's mouth. I can do those. I'll do those.
You'll do those. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. So pretty much golf is non-existent for you right now, other than putt-putt and Topgolf.
Yeah, and even then, I've done Topgolf twice, maybe ever, and I haven't done putt-putt in so long.
Is there a Topgolf around Dayton where you're at?
I think there's one on the, like, north of Cincinnati. So not that far from me, but
Yeah, there is one in Cincinnati, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So let's talk about your stuff that you're doing music-wise. I know, first off, let's explain to people, obviously your name is Jordan Murphy,
right.
But you go by, how do you classify that? Is it an artist name, a stage name? I
guess you could call it stage name, producer, alias, alter ego. I don't know.
Which is Ash Matthews.
Yeah.
And tell everybody why your name is, your studio name is Ash Matthews.
Okay, so Matthews is simple. My middle name is Matthew. So that's just where that comes from. But Ash comes from when I started getting into, like, recording and producing. almost 15 years ago now, a little bit less than 15 years ago. I started working with this local rapper from Lima who went by Phoenix the Answer, but like Fenix the Answer. And so me and him, we met through mutual friends, and we started working on music together, and we became like best friends and had like a strong bond. And he was originally from San Jose, and then I think like the year before I graduated or the year after, sometime around graduation, sometime between like 2011, 2012, sometime in there, he moved back to San Jose to live with his uncle and try to do some music stuff out there. And then in 2013, he was shot and killed in like a random act of violence walking home from his job at GameStop. And so that was that year, 2013, was like a year that I decided I was already in school for recording industry studies. I was already working on music. I was already doing this, but it was like the beginning of me starting to like develop it into, I realized I needed to like take ownership of it and make it more of a brand and make it more of a career, more of a business, more expand what I do and like just take it, put more on my shoulders and like really own it. And I wanted a name to represent that would like be catchy. And so, like I said, his name, he went by Phoenix the Answer. Justin Watkins is his real name. He went by Lupe, but his artist name was Phoenix the Answer. And so then my mentality was that I would be the ash in which the Phoenix was born again from.
Okay.
Kind of like in honor to him. And so Ash, and then once I knew I wanted it to be Ash, then it was like, what follows it? And then I was like, Ash Matthews. Oh, that sounds fire.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. So then I just went with that.
Yeah. That's good. That's cool how you came up with that, and kind of to honor his name, to his mark that he had on music.
Yeah, he was truly the first, if not one of the first, if not the first people to like, to me, truly believe in my potential of what I could do with music. And so I kind of do it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So another thing, I remember when you were young, obviously your mom and I had you do piano lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And so you did piano for, I don't know how long. Seemed like maybe 2 or 3 years.
There was like two rounds, because I did it when I was really young.
Right.
And that was like a shorter bit of it. It was like a introduction to it, but it didn't like stick that well because I was young, and you know how wild kids get. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that,
Right.
I'm done with this. Okay, new toy. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
energy.
But I tell people this story about how you got involved with music and stuff, is that I can remember picking you up one time, and when I pulled down your street, I see all these kids in your driveway. This is when you lived on Wellesley. And I see all these kids in the driveway, and most of them were girls. And I pull up, and you have your drum set. You bought drums. Never had a drum lesson.
I got him as a birthday gift for my 13th birthday, I think.
Yeah, and you're out there playing Hang On Sloopy or something.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm like, you never had a drum lesson, though.
No.
And then
at that time, no. I eventually did, but at that time, no.
And then, I don't know, it was probably a month or two later, I pull in to get you again, and here you come walking out with an amp and a bass guitar. I'm like, what are you doing? Playing bass guitar? Now, you played in bands in school, in high school, right?
Yeah.
And which was kind of, how would you classify that music? Death metal?
Wait, okay, so there was like several, because there was...
I mean, the
like,
original ones that you first started playing.
There was
were
like
that.
The Standoff, which was me, Sam Hall. I think Sean Skirchok, Corey, and I think what was his name? Kinsey Ring. That was the standoff, and that was like it was screamo, but it was like southern metal influence. Like the riffs were like dun 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 dun, something like that. So it had like that type of style into it.
I just remember there was a lot of screaming,
yes,
yelling
there was.
going. There wasn't much singing.
No.
So you played in those bands, and then you kind of went a little more kind of mainstream. You guys, there was a group. You guys came and played at the bar.
The project with Max and Cody and them.
Yeah, well, Max and Cody and them.
that was mainly just like a cover band, play some fun, well-known tunes for the people drinking, the people to have a good time and dance to and sing along with.
Yeah.
And that was the money making, having a good time band.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you kind of got away from what made you get away from playing into producing and mixing and mastering and that kind of stuff? What made you switch switch gears? I mean, you still play instruments. Yeah, you still play, and you play some instruments when you're making beats and or we talked about this the other night, that video you guys did the music video.
C Money Baby Energy studio live performance video.
Yeah, that was fire. That stuff was fire right there. That was awesome, man. I love that video, and you guys all playing the instruments. And we talked about that too. Like, I think I talked about this on the podcast before. I asked you when you guys all switch and are playing different instruments, were you guys really, can all of you guys play all those instruments like that? I know you can play them all.
Yeah.
But
I can play them all. I think Vesta, who's on drums throughout the video, he can pretty much play them all. D-Swove, who's playing guitar, I know he plays guitar extremely well, and he can play bass. I don't know if he really has the drum chops though. But C Money Baby does not play any of them. But the way that he plays them in the video is hysterical.
Oh, it is hysterical.
So he's such a character,
dude. He's funny in that video when he's trying to play the video, playing the. But he's got the singing down and the rap down. And it's not really a rap song, right? Or was it a rap song and you guys made it into a kind of a rock song?
Yeah, it's a rap song, but like the original version is like a guitar-led rap song. Rap with like a little bit of sing, rap, R&B, but mainly rap song. And so we just had the idea, since it was guitar-driven, let's just turn up the distortion on the guitar, add live drums, replace the 808 or like the synth bass with a real bass, and just rock it out. So
yeah, dude, it turned out so good, man. I'm telling you, that's one of my favorite songs you guys did.
And I did that. My favorite thing about it is that's like from the music to the song to the recording to the production to the video editing. Everything is all us. Like, none of that was hired anyone. Like,
right.
I set up the camera for the still shots. Corey, he filmed the movement shots. I edited the whole video, title screen, cutting it up, everything. Editing was all me. I recorded and mixed it, obviously. Swove played all the guitar. I played the bass. Vesta played the drums. And C Money killed it, and we just put it all together, and that's just all us. And I'm just super proud that like it's such a cool video, and we did it.
Yeah,
we did it.
You guys all did it. You guys. I mean, just from the stuff that I've seen and the stuff that's been posted, you guys have a pretty set team that can do all kinds of things.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Hold on, just let you know, we did not answer the original question where this started from, which was what made me get away from playing in a production.
Yeah.
You want to go back to that?
Yeah. No, I want to get back into that. What made you kind of switch gears?
So, around the time when we were talking about like the band with Cody and Max, the project that we would play at like bars and stuff, and then another band I was in that I started called My Story the End, which was like another screamo band but had singing in it. Definitely better than the first band. That was with Brett and Kenny and oh my god, I can't remember dude's name. I feel bad. But he played bass, but he also did our recordings when we recorded our demos. And watching him and like recording with him, I was so intrigued and I wanted to be involved more, but I know that I didn't know enough to like cross that line. So I just like watched him and like I was so fascinated by it. Also knowing that, you know, leading up to recording those demos with him, Brandon was his name. Leading up to recording with him, you know, I'd always tried to like find ways to record, you know, when we would like songwrite, when we read a song, when we would just jam out, or if like we wanted to show people, trying to get a way for it to be recorded so people could even hear it or that we could build on it or whatever. And then as like I kept trying to find better ways to do that, I also had this realization, especially playing with like Max, that like the people that I play with and make music with are just so much better than me at their instruments, but I am just so much better than them with a computer. What can I do here? How can I make up for, because like Max is an insanely amazing guitarist and I can't play drums or bass nearly a third as good as I wish I could as him. It's just ridiculous. So I'm like, how can I make up for that like talent gap? What can I provide? How can I bring more value? How can I be more of an asset? And so then I started getting gear from secondhand sources. Like a buddy was selling an interface and someone had this and that, and I could get these microphones and I could borrow this and try to like just constantly build up being able to record better and then make it sound better to where other people would want to listen to it or that we would at least enjoy it ourselves. And then it just kind of grew from there as I got better at doing that.
Yeah. Kind of like, you know, I can compare that and I understand what you're saying in the fact that like I play golf and I've played some really good golf and I played bad golf, but I've played some really good golf. And then people say, oh, why don't you turn pro? And, you know, I had one of my goals was try to qualify for the senior tour, but in the same sense that you said that people were better, you know, doing other instruments than you, and how could you make up for your lack of it? I am the same way, that like you have to be realistic about your game.
Right.
Have I shot in the 60s? Yeah. Can I do it consistently over 4 days? No, I haven't. I haven't done that consistently over 4 days. So you have to be kind of realistic about your talent and your skill. And you have to adapt to that. Like you did, you decided to go a different route like I have. I know that I'm not going to, I don't want to turn pro. I mean, I could turn pro and teach, but that's not my desire. My desire is to play, and I'm not good enough to play, you know, as a pro, because I'm not going to make any money. And there's a lot of expense. When it comes to golf, there's a lot of expenses you got to do. And if you're not making money, that money's got to come from somewhere. So I can understand what you're saying about that, like making up for the difference between, and it's worked out for you though. I mean, yeah. It's, you've gotten to work with a lot of, really good artists, really good from what I can see and what I've heard. So
yeah,
now you deal mainly, not only, because I've heard a couple, there was a girl that you, did some work with that is a singer that has sang some,
Jexy.
No,
Rainbow.
I think she has red hair, long red hair. I think maybe you dated her for a while. Oh, she had an album. You were on it. You guys did an album. You did a song together.
If it's what I think you're talking about, let's not talk about it.
Well, I'm not.
We
no,
don't
no,
need to promote that.
no. What I'm saying is, now you kind of deal strictly with rap and hip hop artists.
Not strictly, mainly.
No, but mainly. Yeah. Not
Yeah,
strictly.
yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
strictly, but mainly.
Yeah.
Because like I'm saying, like that artist, that other girl that I'm talking about,
Yeah.
she's not rapper hip hop. She sang,
Yeah.
like regular singing.
Yeah.
So now it's, but mainly you deal with rap and hip hop. Is there a reason why that is?
I mean, there's a lot of contributing factors to it. Into, number one, that's what, rap and hip hop became like the leading genres in the music industry over the last like decade. So it's what everybody wanted to do. The same way that, when I was a teenager, there was more like rock and emo bands that were like the thing. Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, that was like the big thing at that time. So everyone wanted to be in a band. But now you have, Drake and Kendrick and Cole and Future and all those. So people want to do that. That's part of it. The other part of it is that, being a hip hop or R&B artist is much easier these days because all you have to do is find a beat, an instrumental, and then find a way to record on it, and then you can put the song out. It's that easy. Like, you don't need to get 3 other members that play guitar really well in this and write a song together and then get that whole thing recorded. It's like the process is much easier and quicker to do that style of music. It's very saturated right now because, like I said, everyone wants to do it. And then for me personally, just the path that I've found has just gone that way. And I'm not mad about it. So yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about, that's a cool story, and you posted something about it. I don't know if it was on Instagram or you posted something on social media the other day, a couple weeks ago about it. But I want to talk about that in a second, but let's take another short break and we'll be right back. After releasing a song every single week last year, Corey Gossett is dropping an album that sums up everything you may have missed. Boy Meets World is available on February 4th. Until then, go listen to the new album from C Money Baby, Don't Forget the Baby, which includes features from Ohio's best upcoming artists Doobie and Yellow Pain. In 2022, Smart Boy Studios is leveling up their merch game. The new store, shop.smartboystudios.com, has some new products and designs. They will be dropping new designs and items every season this year. Follow at Smart Boy Studios on social media to participate in monthly merch giveaways and visit the website to get your merch now. As always, head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, new merch, and any upcoming events. All right, welcome back, everybody. So anyhow, I wanted to, and I think I briefly mentioned it before on a podcast too when I've done your ads. So tell us how you ended up. I mean, as a young kid, I always listened to rap and hip hop, obviously, and so that's what you and your brother were subjected to at a young age.
Outside of you subjecting us to, forcing us to listen to country in the car and singing it at the top of your lungs while I'd be like, no, turn it off.
Well, I had to get you well-rounded.
Yeah, I understand.
All music. Yeah. Are you still not a country music fan?
I think country music has the best harmonies in any genre. No genre outside of country can match country on like harmonies, which I love that. But outside of that, no, that's about it that I got from country. There's a few instruments used in country music that I really love, like a lap steel. I really love the sound of a lap steel. So that a few specific instruments and then the harmonies in country music. If you go back to like outlaw country, like old country, I enjoy that.
Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah, I enjoy Merle Haggard, stuff like that. Old outlaw country, I can get down with that. But like the newer
stuff,
newer the country, the more it's just hop and rap music with a slightly different twist.
Okay. Would you ever work with a country artist?
Yeah.
If they wanted to do a country song, would you?
Yeah, I would say I'm probably not the guy for that, but I would do it.
Yeah. You could do it though. You'd be good.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so a song and the post I wish I could pull it up. I don't know how I pull it up, but
If you tell me what it is, I can probably find it.
well, it was the post that you made about Rapper's Delight.
Yeah. That's what I figured you were talking about. I can probably find it pretty quickly. It would have been the day that the dude's album dropped, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But what I want you to do is tell that story, how that turned out, and how.
Well, I mean,
Do you remember calling me that day and saying, "I want to tell you something, but I want to wait until it happens, but I really want to tell you"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so hard not to tell you about that situation because, like, it's just like it was just in the works for so long, and I was like, I want to tell him, but I have to wait until it like makes sense to tell him, but I want to tell him so bad. Well, you tell him the background on
So the
Rapper's
background
Delight.
is,
Yeah.
anyhow, when you were young, that was a song that when I was 13, I bought the album, and my cousin and I believe it was Scotty Clayton, we stayed up all night. Well, I stayed up all night. He ended up falling asleep, but back then we didn't have the computers with lyrics or anything like that, cell phones. So we played the album, and I would write down the words, and then obviously we'd have to start it over because I couldn't write that fast. And it took me all night, but I stayed up and I wrote down every word to that song when I was 13 years old. And to this day, every lyric is locked in my head. And it's 14 minutes long. It's a long song. There's a karaoke version that only lasts 8 minutes. But through the years, we've sung that song. We've done it like at weddings, your brother's wedding. We did it, all three of us together, stuff like that. And it ended up.
We've done it here.
We've done it here too. We did it at the Hideaway.
Yep.
Yeah. We've done a lot, and you've done it. But the post that you made, I want to see if you can find it because
I'm trying to find it. I feel like.
Do you remember what it was on? Even if it was on like Facebook,
I'm pretty sure it was on Facebook.
But anyhow, it turns out that
Oh, I found it.
okay.
And it's really slow.
So read that. Sorry.
So this is from March 25th. It's like a whole month ago.
Oh man, a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah. The most important song in the formation of my love for rap and hip hop is Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. My dad taught me all the words to this 15-minute song as a young child, and I spent my adolescence performing the song with my dad and sometimes brother at bars, family events, karaoke, etc. I've rapped the song on stage with my cover band in high school, The Project, with Max and Cody we were talking about. I've rapped the song at countless weddings. I've rapped it solo. I've rapped it as a trio. I've rapped it in a car. I've rapped it at random people in downtown Cleveland on the street. That had happened like earlier that week. We were in Cleveland,
really?
and this dude was just like, you know how people on the street in downtown cities just start like yapping at you?
Yeah.
And I don't know what was said, but something was said about rap or whatever. So to shut him up, I just started rapping Rapper's Delight until he shut up and walked away. Anyway, I've rapped it to impress. I've rapped it to prove a point. I've rapped it to myself. I've rapped it more than I've rapped or sang or spoke any other song. Last year, through networking, I met Lil G, the son of Master G, who is a member of the Sugar Hill Gang. We did a song together, and today he dropped his album with our song as the intro song to that album. This probably isn't a big deal to you, but it means a ton to me. My hip-hop depths have come full circle. So
Yeah,
just the idea that you introduced me to this song and this group and this genre and this whole style, and that song became a very important part of our father-son relationship. And then to 20 years later, the son of a member of that group I link up with, and me and him make music together, and it just like everything came full circle.
I know. When you told me that story, man, I was like, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable for one thing, but it's so freaking awesome that happened that way.
Yeah.
And did you tell him? Did you tell him about how?
I don't think I've told him about how
man.
important it is.
That is crazy. Like, just it'd be interesting to see what he thought of that. He would have to think that was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Not that his dad didn't know me. It's not like we're not known.
Yeah.
But it was just cool that you got introduced to the song and then end up working with him and being, I think he used your beat, right? You provided the beat for him.
For the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made the beat and I mixed and mastered it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives a shout out to you. He said, something about Ash Matthews too. That's pretty
Ash
cool.
Ash Matthews on the beat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome.
And since I mixed it, he had sent me the vocals like isolated for me to mix it, and so I pulled that out, and now I have that as a beat tag sometimes.
Oh, nice.
That I made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That is cool. So how are things going? I know, and I'm always pushing it. After I play your ad, usually on the podcast, I tell everybody, hey, go visit his store, check out his merch. You got some pretty dope stuff. I mean, you got a bomber jacket that's new, and you got a special deal going with it right now where you get some exclusive content or invites for stuff or early releases of stuff. How's that stuff going? Is your merch store doing pretty good?
Yeah, I decided to try to like, now that the brand, the team is getting more recognition all around, like all of our artists, all of our producers are getting, bigger placements, better opportunities, growing their name. It's building the whole brand up. So this year I decided to start taking merch a little bit more seriously and with more of a strategy. So like every quarter, like every season, I have like new items planned for every season. And so I just dropped the the spring line, which was basically like tracksuits and a couple different like jacket styles and stuff. When the summer comes, I have a new line of like t-shirts and like a woman's crop top and shorts and a bucket hat and stuff like that. So there every 3 months there will be a whole new load of new stuff. And then we also just dropped the collab merch with C Money Baby for his album. So yeah, I'm trying to take merch more seriously, promote it more, give more interesting items, stuff that people will want to wear, and not just like, oh, here's a shirt with our logo on it, but like something that looks a little bit more like you would want to wear it even if you didn't, know what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're saying your logo is the octopus.
Yeah.
And why is that the logo? How did you come up with that? And it's cool that it has headphones on.
Yeah. So the octopus is an insanely incredible creature, and the way that I like became fascinated about it was, again, like 15 years ago, I was hanging around Bluffton, and there was this dude named James that me and Cody would hang out with, and he was like a real big hippie dude. Like, I'm talking, we would sit outside the coffee shop and play guitar. Like, that's what we did for fun. Like, just hippie shit. Sorry. And then one day we were just chilling, talking, and James was like, I have this theory that octopuses are from a different universe, that they came through a wormhole, because they're just so unlike any other creature. And so like that made me start like looking into like, how are they different, why are they different? And I just found out how like crazy and unique they are as a species of animal, and how smart they are. And basically, to wrap everything I've learned up, that octopuses are, by the way, that's the correct plural, because it's
not octopi.
It's not octopi, because I may have this backwards, but ending a plural with an I is for words that are of Latin origin, but octopus is Greek origin, and the Greek pluralization is es, octopuses.
Learn something new every day.
Yes. So
See
anyway,
that, people? See that, people? Listen to the podcast. You're going to learn something new every day.
Even maybe useless as hell, but whatever. Anyway, so everything that I've learned about the octopus is that there are 3 words that you can use to describe an octopus. They're creative, they're intelligent, and they're adaptable. And I think that those 3 traits are character traits that are admirable and desirable to have and, you know, be known for. So that was like the reason I wanted the octopus to be the logo. And then I had this girl that I went to school with make up the logo for me, and I just told her I want an octopus, I want it to be gold, and I want it to have headphones on it. And boom, she put it together, and
Yeah.
it's been the logo ever since.
Yeah.
For
It's a good logo.
5 years.
Okay.
Years now.
So now the obvious question. The name of the studio, your studio, you have your own studio.
Mm-hmm.
You also work at another studio, but you still work in there, right?
Yeah.
So,
My,
and that's,
my studio basically works out of that studio.
yeah.
I can
You
explain
still
it.
have your
I can-
home studio,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I still have the home studio. Yeah.
Okay, but their studio name is Smart Boy Studios. Where'd you come up with the name Smart Boy Studios?
So when I was in high school, we would run around doing hoodlum stuff and, you know, getting ourselves into situations. And I was always the one to be like, guys, I don't think we should be doing this. hey, maybe let's not chase this car. I don't think maybe we need to be chasing this car, guys. And they'd be like, so they called me Smart Boy because I was always the one that was making, you know, the smarter decisions, and I had, you know, more going for me. And they would be like, just trust me. If anything happens, you stay right here. You don't move. We'll handle it. You're not going to get in trouble.
And your dad was a cop, so you also had to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
See,
So I would just be like, I was always the one that's like, hey, this isn't a great idea.
see, now I thought you came up with the name because this is the first time that we've really talked about how you came up with the name Smart Boy Studios, but I thought you came up with it because when you were young, you were very smart.
I'm not now. Okay.
No, you are, but I'm saying when you were young,
Yeah.
your mom and I both told you that you were smart. You're very intelligent. I can remember, side note, I remember, and I don't remember if you remember this because you were only 3 or 4. You weren't even in school yet. But we took Ryan to football practice at West School. And when he was playing midget football, and you were sitting in the car, you had a book and a pad and a pen, and we're sitting in the car, and another friend of mine walked up, Mark, and he's like, hey, what's going on, guys? Not much. And then he asked you, I don't know if you remember this, but he asked you, Jordan, what are you doing? And you're over there writing. I don't know how legible it was, but you're writing and you have the book open and you said, I'm doing a book report. And you weren't even in school yet. So, I mean, you are a smart kid. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
It's funny. I don't know like the exact instance that you're talking about, but I do remember writing like book reports for fun. I would like have like books about like science things or about people. I remember having a book of like biographies of people, and so I would like read a biography about someone and then like make my own report about who that person was.
Yeah, that's what you were doing.
Yeah, that's what I would
think
do
it
for
was
fun.
Abraham Lincoln that was
It very much, if it was, that's the one that I definitely remember doing.
It was Abraham Lincoln is the one you were doing in the car. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and you were, and I'll give credit where credit is due. You were smart because of your mom, not me. Not me. Not that I'm not smart. I'm just a different smart.
You're different kind of smart.
I'm not a book smart.
Not a book report smart.
Yeah, not a book report smart guy.
For fun.
Yeah, for fun guy. But no, but so I thought, as a matter of fact, we had to temper your because we were getting reports from the school, your teachers saying, hey, Jordan's in here telling kids he's smarter than them and stuff like that. And I don't know if you remember me telling you, I'm like, Jordan, you cannot do that. You do not say that to other people. You are smart, but you don't say that to other people. You don't tell them you're smarter than them.
Maybe I was like, well, I'm not. You told me not to call people dumb, but they're being dumb. So how can I tell them they're dumb without telling them that they're dumb? I'll just tell them that I'm smarter. So
yeah,
that's hilarious.
So anyhow, that's what I thought how you came up with the name for the studio.
That is part of it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I went to college and got 2 degrees, like it's always been a part of, you know, who I feel like I am. It's something that I value. Intelligence is something that I value.
Right.
So, I mean, it is part of it, but like the idea, like just the name, like Smart Boy, comes from specifically one person that always called me Smart Boy.
Yeah.
And then when I was trying to think of like a thing, I was like, what feels like, because at the time I didn't know it was going to grow into what it is now. I thought it was going to be like a one-man show. A one-man show type thing, but I mean, now we've got a team and it's a little bit different, but when I named it, I thought it was going to be like a one-man show type thing, and it felt appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good name and an appropriate name. And like you said, the octopus is the perfect logo for it.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, you even, that was one thing I don't remember if you remember, but when you started going through, becoming who you are, I mean, you got snake bites in your face, you got nose ring, you got gauges. They look bigger than what I last saw you.
Enough.
Tattoos. But even when you were young and you were getting that stuff, people were like, why, asking me, why would you let him do that? And I'm like, number one, he's smart enough to know that, you know, when you do stuff like that to yourself, and I even told you, I'm like, just remember, people are going to judge you based when they first look at you. And if you have all that stuff, some people do not like that or think differently about people. That you could be the smartest person, and you are one of the smartest people, but people don't see that. People don't know that about you. They see that and they think that maybe you're not that smart. And you've always been good about it. Matter of fact, you don't even have your snake bites in. I don't even remember the last time I saw you wear snake bites.
No, I took those out before I turned 21. I know that. But I remember, like, I was in school, and I would hang out with someone for like 2 hours, or I could have known them for weeks or months, and something would get brought up, and I'd be like, oh yeah, like I remember when I got these snake bites, I was in Miami. Like, we'll talk about Miami, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I got these in Miami. And they're like, oh, I did not even realize that you had them. Like, people that I've known for months, like, it just like goes away and they forget that it's even there. So like, that was part of, like, I felt like they weren't causing an issue with, like, an image issue, but then also, like, they're not adding anything if they're not noticeable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It became like
you were just like, they're not even noticing. Why am I wearing them?
Yeah. That was definitely part of why I took them out. Then it was just also like, I've had these for so long. I'm over this phase of what I look like. So let's take those out.
And not only that, but you know, when people would ask me that, I let him do it because he's a good kid. Never been in any trouble with the police. He doesn't do drugs. He's a straight A student, honor roll student. I mean, it doesn't affect, you know, if it would be different if it was the other way around, but it's not.
Yeah.
But you were doing it because obviously that's what the music industry, almost, you know, all the artists have tattoos and piercings and stuff like that. So, you know, it never bothered me. I just wanted you to make sure. I wanted you to keep in mind that, you know, other people are going to look at you and judge you based on how you look.
Yeah, I've always,
even though that's not right, there's still people that do that.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always going to do what I want to do, but I always take that stuff. I've always taken that stuff into consideration. Like, I didn't have a tattoo that went like below like a sleeve line really much at all until I had worked at the company I was working for I don't know, maybe 2 years or so. And I talked to my HR lady and I was like, if I got a tattoo that came down to here, is that going to be a problem? And like, I had that whole conversation with her and was basically like, no, as long as you this and that and da da da, and know if this happens and maybe you want to wear long sleeves at this type of meeting and whatever. I was like, okay, cool. And then we just started going. But even then, I don't have hand tats.
Yeah, you don't have hand tats.
I don't have neck tats.
You don't have neck tats. You don't have face tats. I'm surprised, to be honest with you.
I'm surprised.
I'm surprised that you do not.
I've thought about it.
That you do not. Yeah.
Maybe someday, not yet.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And so, yeah, no, I mean, it's never been an issue. You know my issue. The only issue I have with any of the stuff you do is your ears. Do not, I told you they better not get any bigger gauges than what you have. They're small. That's fine.
They've been the same size for 14 years.
Well, they look bigger every time I see you.
That's how I know you're getting old.
That's true. That is true. I am getting old. So the music. So let's talk about your other job, though. I mean, obviously, like you said, you went to college and got a dual degree in engineering and computer sciences.
Yeah, computer engineering and computer science.
Okay, and then your minor was in music recording production.
Recording industry studies, same thing.
Same thing. Okay, so what about the engineering stuff? I know you're working for a company now, and you're doing software for. You still doing for security and GPS stuff?
Yeah. For the it's with a defense contractor who contracts out work from the Department of Defense, mainly Air Force, but yeah.
And so I know you've mentioned, and I've seen some stuff you posted that you may be quitting your day job and working strictly on the music stuff.
The goal / plan, I don't know if I can truly call it a plan, but the idea, the hope, the goal, what I'm working towards is to leave the day job to do music full time in about 9 months from now.
And logistically, you've got this all figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, part of it is that, like, right now, like, even before I came here, I'm booking sessions for late June. I've been this entire year and the end of last year. I mean, since, a year ago, I was booking a month, almost 2 months out. But for the last 6 months, maybe more, I'm booking 2.5, almost 3 months out because I can only... do sessions at certain times, and I'm not trying to, like, I have sessions 28 out of 31 days a month. Like, I'm not, but the thing is, I can only do, Monday through Friday, I can only do one session at like 7 p.m., 7 to midnight at the latest. So I can only do like one session a day, Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, I'll do sessions. I'll be in the studio for 10, 14, 16, upwards 17 hours a day during the weekends. And then every once in a while I'll take a weekend off to like not burn myself out. But even taking on as many sessions as I can without burning myself out, I'm still booking 3 months out from now. So when it comes time to be able to do music full time, that gets pushed back, and all those people I can take during the day or later at night, because a lot of people they're rappers.
Well,
man.
artists.
They're artists and they're rappers, man. They're down to do a 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. session if I could.
Yeah. And you can't because you got to get up in the morning to go to your day job.
Exactly. So I know that just studio work, I know that that's there. I know that that's not going to be a problem. But between, I have like not goals, but kind of like thresholds of like beats and merch that I need to sell on top of studio time to kind of like give the, more comfort budget wise.
Right.
Because like like I've talked about the team, the team, the label, the Smart Boy Studios, the company, we have artists and producers as part of the team, and part of my responsibility is also fostering those careers and music that's made with them. So like it's also about being able to provide for my team as well through music, because like right now all the money that comes in, all the revenue that Smart Boy Studios makes goes right back into Smart Boy Studios. Every penny goes back into new merch or new gear. Like I just got I just got a new microphone a couple months ago. It's awesome. Stuff like that, studio time, because like you were talking about earlier, the studio that I work out of, Raise the Bar Sound and Management in Dayton, Ohio, Smart Boy Studios is like an independent contractor there. So like I work through them, but under their name, but I have my own rapport built with a lot of my clients and collaborators. I don't always like to call artists that I work with clients because that feels weird. I like to call them collaborators because I'm working on the music with them. I'm not just there to push buttons for them.
Right.
So I still pay for our studio time because, you know, they are allowing me to even do it. You know,
yeah, because you're using their equipment, you're using their building, their electricity, everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I forget where this question started, but
it started with
going full time with
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just finding more ways for me and for the team to build lanes of revenue to make that happen.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like that you're on a good path, working your way towards that, and hopefully, I know I asked you about this the other night though, but I asked you. I know one of your beats was played in Barcelona, Spain, in a nightclub there, and I'd ask you how did that even get there? Because I know, you know, you sent it out and said, "Oh, my beat was played in Spain," and they have a video in the club showing that it's playing it. But you said one of your buddy's dads.
Yeah, so like, I mean that song is now.
That's been a long time ago.
That song's got to be 6 or 7 years old. Made that with JV Tree, and it was on top of my beat, and then something to do with his dad and people that his dad knows or his dad went there. I don't remember the details. I just know that JV Tree's dad had some connection to where it was played in some nightclub in Barcelona.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Hey, give a shout out to name your artists that you got working on the team.
Let's run down.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, let's start with the producers. We got D Swove. D Swove is an amazing guitarist. He's an amazing producer in all sense of the word. He knows how to make a song. He knows how to make it interesting. The way that he blends genres and styles and just makes you go, what the hell? Like, you listen to something that he makes and your mind just gets blown sometimes with the stuff that he does. You got Vesta. Vesta may be the only other person I know that has a work ethic that could rival mine. This dude is always working. He's always trying to find new people to work with. He's always pushing himself to make different types of music and collaborate with people online, offline, in this studio, that studio, with the team, people we don't know, people we do know. Dude is just out here to make music and make a name for himself. We got DeCasso. DeCasso is
Panda Gang
Casso. By the way, yeah. Vesta is Prod Vesta on social media. D-Swove is D-Swove on social media. DeCasso is Panda Gang Casso on social media. DeCasso is the original artist on the team. He was the first artist. He was the first person outside of myself to be on the team. Me and Casso have been making music together since 2013. That's my dude. Go check him out. He's dropped a couple projects in the last couple years. Suburban King, The Story of Westerly Drive is an amazing album that you should listen to. And then he dropped another project recently called Scars and Acoustics, which is more R&B singing, love song type stuff. And then we got Corey Gossett. Corey Gossett is Kid Who Came Back on all social media. And last year, Corey dropped a song every single week for the entire year.
That was amazing. That was crazy.
It was,
and they weren't like, I mean, the songs that he dropped, they weren't like garbage.
No,
they weren't like just.
There's no misses. They're all.
Oh, dude.
Oh, they're all great.
And that song that you guys, and he came out with you in October when you guys came out, and you guys, I'm still waiting on that music video.
It's still in the works,
dude. That song Moana, that's a good song.
Yeah,
we
filmed for Moana. We filmed a little bit for Lucid. And there's a couple of videos that will be coming out shortly. I don't know exactly when. I know that he has another single he's dropping soon. But yeah, he dropped a lot of music last year, a few videos. We're still working on videos for those songs as well as new music. He's been working towards developing his sound. Him and D-Swove have been working a lot together, trying to create a new sound that kind of has more energy but still maintains the roots of Corey's music. So that's been incredible. Like I forgot to mention that DeCasso is also working on a follow-up to Suburban King right now. And again, some of his best music he's ever made. It's everyone.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Dude, everyone that's heard the songs for this next album have just all been like, bro, like it's insane. So I'm excited for that we only have a couple more things left to do before we start finishing that up. Corey's still just working on new music, working on sounds. And then C Money Baby, my guy, C Money Baby, don't forget the baby. We dropped the album Don't Forget the Baby a couple months ago, that was in January, I think. That album is incredible. And then we just dropped Smart Boy Dumber Decisions, which is the follow-up to last year's Smart Boy Dumb Decisions, which is basically these two albums are completely produced in-house by the team, and it's just like we're just having fun with it. That album, Dumber Decisions, also dropped with a merch line that I talked about earlier. And again, me and him are literally always working on new music. I never know where it's going to go. We have a lot of things we've talked about, but right now, go listen to that album. He has a couple new music videos out, and more music videos will come. And that is C Money Baby everywhere on social media. You'll find him. It's easy. You can Google him. He's there.
What I like is he got the Ohio State Buckeye logo on his face.
On his face.
One.
He has the Ohio State logo.
He has the
on his face.
Yeah.
He's hard to miss.
Yeah. And he's got it in his music and his
yeah, he reps Ohio State big time.
Yeah.
He reps
I love
Ohio
that.
State
I love that about that guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, give everybody the website for your merch.
Yeah, if you just go to smartboystudios.com, you'll see all of, the latest stuff that we've been releasing and working on, new videos, new music, new songs I've produced for people outside the team, and Swove Invest have been producing new albums, new singles, new videos from the team. Up in the top right, you can go to the shop, or you can just go to shop.smartboystudios.com, and that will be the merch store. You can find the Dumber Decisions merch, which is the merch that we did with C Money Baby. You can look at the new spring line. The summer line will be coming in a couple months, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And then there's also, if you are, a rapper or a singer or anything and you're looking for some instrumentals, there are links to all of our beat stores on there and all of our social media. If you want to chat with anyone, tell us what you're looking for, we can make it for you. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Thank you guys for listening to the show and supporting the podcast. Thank you to my supporters. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can go to Anchor, or it may have it on the other listening platforms also. There's a spot there where you could click on and help support the podcast and help me continue to bring content to you guys. I really appreciate your guys' time listening. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hopefully you guys are starting to play some golf. I know on the mainland and the northern states, some of those guys, the weather's starting to break. You guys had snow and then 80-degree weather. The courses might be a little wet, but hopefully you're getting out there and playing some golf. And if you are playing golf, hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them very often. Aloha, everybody.